Hello and welcome to Sarah English today. We are talking about why you must listen when learning English. Listening is not just something you do while waiting for your turn to speak. It is one of the most important parts of learning any language. So let's explore why listening is so vital. When you were a baby, you didn't start by talking. You started by listening. You heard your parents speak. You heard people around you. Slowly, you began to understand what they were saying. Only after a lot of listening did you start to speak. This process is the same for everyone. Listening is the first step in learning any language. Now, why is listening so important? You learn new words. When you listen, you hear many new words. Sometimes you will not know what these words mean, but after hearing them a few times, you will begin to understand them. This is how we all learn words in any language. Imagine hearing the word apple for the first time. At first, you might not know what it means, but after hearing it several times in sentences, you will understand that it is a fruit. You learn pronunciation. Many people know how to write English words, but they do not know how to say them. By listening, you hear how native speakers pronounce words. You hear how the sounds change when people speak quickly. For example, the word going can sound like goanna when people speak fast. Listening helps you catch these small differences. You understand sentences. It's not enough to know words. You must also know how to put them together in sentences. When you listen, you hear sentences and learn how words work together. For instance, the cat is on the mat is a simple sentence. But if you only know the words cat and mat, you may not understand the whole idea without listening to how they connect. You understand context. Listening helps you understand the context of conversations. Context means the situation or background in which something happens. For example, if someone says, "I'm cold," the context may be that they are outside in winter. Listening helps you catch these clues, which are very important in understanding conversations. It helps with comprehension. Listening improves your overall comprehension skills. It trains your brain to recognize patterns in the language. When you listen to stories, your brain begins to understand how the plot develops. This makes it easier for you to understand spoken English in real-life situations. Let's think about learning how to drive a car. At first, you watch others drive. You see how they use the steering wheel and the pedals. Slowly, you understand how a car works. Listening to English is like watching someone drive. You are learning how the language works before you try it yourself. Additionally, listening helps with your critical thinking skills. When you listen to different viewpoints in conversations or discussions, you learn to analyze and evaluate information. This skill is valuable in everyday life, not just in language learning. If you want to learn English quickly and well, listening is something you should do every day. Here are some practical tips to incorporate listening into your daily routine. Start with easy English. Find short stories or videos with easy English. These stories use simple words and sentences. For example, you can read Level 1 graded readers or listen to children's stories, which are usually simpler and easier to understand. Listen to English music. Find songs you like in English. Listen to the lyrics and try to understand the meaning. You can even sing along to practice your pronunciation. For example, listen to a popular song like "Let It Be" by the Beatles. Pay attention to the words and try to sing along. Watch English movies and TV shows. Choose movies or shows with simple language and subtitles. This way you can read along while listening. For instance, cartoons like Peppa Pig have easy language and are great for beginners. Listen to audiobooks. There are many audiobooks available for beginners. They read the stories slowly, which makes it easier for you to follow along. You can listen to classic tales or graded readers, which are specifically designed for learners. Engage with podcasts. Many podcasts are available for English learners. These podcasts often focus on specific topics and use clear language. For example, Why You Must Read provides lessons on various themes and is perfect for learners. Practice with language apps. There are several language learning apps that focus on listening skills. Apps like Duolingo or Babbel have listening exercises that you can use anytime. Join English language groups. If you have local groups or online communities, join them. Listening to people speak English in conversations will help you get used to the rhythm and flow of the language. By making listening a part of your daily routine, you will see a big improvement in your English skills. Did you know that listening can help you become a better speaker? It's true. Listening and speaking are two sides of the same coin. If you want to speak English well, you must listen carefully. Let's explore how listening helps you improve your speaking skills. When you listen, you not only learn vocabulary and pronunciation, but you also learn how to form sentences and express ideas. This is important because speaking is not just about knowing words, it is about knowing how to use them. Let me tell you a story. I once had a student named Anjali. She was a very smart girl, but she was afraid to speak English. She knew many words, but she was shy. She didn't want to make mistakes. I told her to start listening to simple English every day. She listened to short stories, songs, and even English news for 30 minutes every day. After a few months, Anjali began to speak more. She felt more confident. Why? Because she had been listening. When you listen, you learn the right way to say words. You learn how to answer questions. You also learn common phrases that people use in conversation. For example, if you listen to someone ask, "What do you do for fun?" and you hear the response, "I like to play football," you learn how to answer that question in your conversations. You understand that "like to" is a common phrase when talking about interests. So how can you use listening to become a better speaker? Here are some tips. Start with easy English. Find short stories or videos with easy English. These stories use simple words and sentences. For example, you can read Level 1 graded readers or listen to children's stories, which are usually simpler and easier to understand. Listen and repeat. After you hear a sentence, say it out loud. This helps you practice the sounds of English. For instance, listen to a short video and repeat what the speaker says. This is a great way to improve your accent and pronunciation. Ask yourself questions. When you listen to a story or a conversation, ask yourself questions. For example, if the story is about a man named John who went to the store, you can ask, "What did John buy?" or "Where did John go?" This helps you think in English and practice forming sentences. Use shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to someone speak and try to speak at the same time. It helps you practice your rhythm and intonation. Try shadowing a short video or audio clip for a few minutes each day. Record yourself speaking. After listening and repeating sentences, try to record yourself speaking. Listen to the recording and compare it to the original. This will help you identify areas for improvement. Participate in conversations. Find a language partner or group where you can practice speaking English. The more you practice speaking, the more confident you will become. By focusing on listening, you will notice a big change in your speaking abilities. You will become more fluent and natural in your conversations. Did you know that English is spoken in many ways? Yes. English in the United States sounds different from English in Britain. Even people from Australia speak English in a different way. This is called accent. An accent is the way people pronounce words. Learning to understand different accents is very important. When you learn English, you may mostly hear one accent like American English. But when you travel or talk to people from other countries, you will meet many kinds of English speakers. If you can understand different accents, you will be ready for these conversations. Here's why listening to different accents is important. It improves your listening skills. When you listen to different accents, you train your ear. You start to understand English no matter how it is spoken. For example, British English often uses words like lorry instead of truck. If you only listen to American English, you might not recognize this word when you hear it. It prepares you for real-life conversations. You may meet people from all over the world. If you understand different accents, you will be able to communicate better. For instance, if you are in a group with friends from different countries, understanding their accents will help you join the conversation easily. It exposes you to new vocabulary. Different regions use different words. For example, in some parts of the UK, biscuit means what Americans call a cookie. By listening to different types of English, you learn new vocabulary. So how can you practice listening to different accents? Here are some ideas. Watch movies and TV shows. English movies and TV shows are a fun way to hear different accents. Try watching shows from the UK, the US, and Australia. Listen to how people speak in each one. You can start with popular British shows like The Office or Australian movies like The Castle. Listen to songs. Songs are another great way to practice. Singers from different countries have different accents too. Try listening to songs from many countries and pay attention to the words. For example, listen to Adele from the UK or Keith Urban from Australia to hear different accents in music. Use YouTube. There are many YouTube channels that teach English. Some are from the UK, some are from the US, and some are from India or Australia. Try watching different channels to hear different kinds of English. Channels like BBC Learning English or English with Lucy are great for listening practice. Engage with podcasts from different regions. Find podcasts that feature speakers from various countries. For example, The English We Speak from the BBC features British accents, while All Ears English has American speakers. Listening to different regions will expose you to a variety of pronunciations. By listening to many accents, you will be able to understand English in any situation. This will help you feel more confident when speaking with others. Have you ever been in a situation where someone was talking, but you weren't really paying attention? Maybe you heard the sound of their voice, but you didn't understand what they were saying. This happens to all of us. It's called hearing but not listening. To learn English, you must not only hear, but also listen carefully. This is called active listening. Active listening is when you focus on what the speaker is saying. You try to understand every word and sentence. Let's look at how to improve your active listening skills. Pay full attention. When you listen to English, try not to think about other things. Focus on the words and their meaning. Turn off your phone or other distraction. For example, if you are listening to a podcast, find a quiet place where you can concentrate. Take notes. Sometimes you may listen to something difficult like a podcast or a lecture. In this case, it's a good idea to take notes. Write down important words and phrases. This helps you remember later. For instance, if you are listening to a lesson on travel vocabulary, jot down key phrases like boarding pass or check-in. Ask questions. After you listen to something, ask questions about it. For example, if you listen to a story, ask, what happened first? What happened next? Why did the character do that? Asking questions helps you remember and understand better. Summarize what you heard. After listening, try to explain what you heard in your own words. This practice helps you recall information and check your understanding. For example, after listening to a story about a girl who learns to ride a bike, you can say, the girl was scared at first, but then she learned to ride and felt happy. Practice active listening with others. Find someone to practice listening with. Take turns speaking and summarizing what each other says. This way you can improve your listening skills and help each other learn. Active listening is like exercise for your brain. The more you practice, the better you get. Active listening helps you understand the language better. It also builds your confidence. The more you listen and understand, the more you will want to speak. You will feel more comfortable using new words and phrases. Active listening also allows you to connect with others. When you listen carefully, you show that you care about what the other person is saying. This builds stronger relationships, whether in personal conversations or professional settings. Lastly, let's talk about how to make listening fun. Sometimes learning a language can feel like hard work, but it doesn't have to be. Listening can be fun and interesting if you do it the right way. Here are some fun ways to improve your listening skills. Listen to what you love. Do you like sports? Or maybe you enjoy cooking or traveling? Whatever your interest is, find English content on that topic. There are podcasts, videos, and songs on almost every topic you can imagine. If you listen to something you enjoy, it won't feel like learning. For example, if you love cooking, watch cooking shows in English. Practice with friends. Do you have friends who are also learning English? Try listening to English together. You can watch a movie, listen to a song, or even just talk to each other in English. This makes listening more fun and social. Plan a movie night with your friends and discuss what you watched afterward. Listen while you do other things. You don't always need to sit down and focus on listening. You can listen to English while doing other things like cooking, cleaning, or exercising. This way, you are learning without even thinking about it. For example, listen to an audiobook while going for a walk. Set listening challenges. Create challenges for yourself. For example, challenge yourself to listen to 3 different accents in 1 week. Or you can aim to listen to a new English song every day. Setting goals makes listening more exciting. Join online English clubs. Participate in online discussions or clubs where you can listen and engage with others. Websites like Meetup often have groups focused on language learning. Join these groups to meet new people and practice your listening skills. Reward yourself. After reaching your listening goals, reward yourself. Treat yourself to something you enjoy, like watching your favorite movie or eating a special snack. This will motivate you to continue practicing. In conclusion, listening is the foundation of learning any language. It helps you understand words, sentences, pronunciation, and even different accents. If you want to speak English well, you must listen every day. Remember, listening is not just something you do while waiting for your turn to talk. It's a skill, and like any skill, it gets better with practice. So listen to stories, podcasts, songs, and videos. Pay attention to what you hear. Repeat words and sentences, and most importantly, have fun while you learn. Thank you for watching this video on Sarah English. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.